Hi, fourth graders. This is your math e-learning lesson for Wednesday, May 20th. Today we're going to be looking at two lessons, and they are not sequential in your book, and that's lessons 137 and 140, because these two lessons do go together. It's looking at naming numbers through the hundred millions place and also writing these numbers. So I'm combining both of these today. Okay, that's lessons 137 and 140. So let's start out by taking a look at this number that's on the board. Okay, also there's a decimal point that's placed here, and that's to remind you that no matter how large your number is, the decimal point goes to the right, and anything then to the right of that decimal point would be your decimal numbers, and anything to the left are your whole numbers. Okay, so let's start. So let's forget that this number is really large for a minute here, and just look here. So if we were just looking at this three-digit number, 289, as a three-digit number, you know that that number is 289. So the 9 then is in what place? Okay, the 9 is in your ones place. And then the 8 is the tens. And the 2 is the hundreds. I'm just going to put HUND for hundreds here. Right. Then you know you have your comma. You know that to the left of the comma is your thousands. So you have ones, tens, hundreds, followed by the comma, and then you have your thousands. So it's ones, tens, hundreds, comma, we have thousands. Then we're sort of going to repeat the pattern. You have thousands, and then the next place after the ones here is tens. Well, the next place after your thousands is your 10,000s. And then after the 10,000s place, what comes next? Hundreds. Now it's 100,000s. Okay, 100,000s. So ones, tens, hundreds, comma, your thousands place. Then it's 10,000, 100,000. Next comma. So after your thousands, your next comma then indicates that you're in millions. Then following that same pattern, after millions, what do you have? You're going to have 10 million. And then after the 10 million, you have 100 million. Alright, so once again, it's ones, tens, hundreds, followed by the comma, and then it's thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, followed by the comma, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. Right. So you sort of want to remind yourself that there's sort of that pattern. It's ones, tens, hundreds, then you move into thousands, and then it's still, after the thousands, then it's 10,000s, 100,000s. Next comma indicates millions, and then it's 10 millions, 100 millions. All right, now, the most important thing when you're writing these larger numbers is to remember how many places there needs to be. So, for example, if you were writing a number that was in the 10,000s place, you know you would have two places to the left of the comma, and of course always three places to the right of the comma. It's always ones, tens, hundreds, then the thousands. So that you need to make sure then that all 5 digits would be filled in. So if you had a number like, here, let's do this, 74,289, well, you have 74,289. Nice and easy, 74,289. Remember what that one comma is your thousands place. But if you had something like 74,089, 74,089, what happens is often students forget that there needs to be another place there because you only hear the 74 and the 89. But you have to think about this. It's 74,000. When you hear thousand, that's where the comma goes. And you know that you must have 3 places to the right of the comma. So 74,089, we have to have the 3 places. 89, you need to fill in with the 0 in front because you know if you place the 0 anywhere else, it wouldn't be 89. If you placed it here, that's now 890. That's not the same as 89. So the 0 has to be filled in here. Okay. So that's the hardest thing, that often you hear certain numbers and you think you only have to write down the digits you hear, like 74,089, 7489. Well, if you wrote down only what you heard, 7489, okay, how is this 74,089? It's ones, tens, hundreds, and the comma. This would be 7,489. That's a lot different than 74,089. So you do need to pay attention to your number of places. All right, let's take a look at lesson 137. Number 137 asks you to use words to name the numbers and to insert commas where necessary. So I'm just going to quickly write down the numbers that they've given. And I want you looking at these and figuring out where the commas need to be placed. Okay, so these are the numbers that they've given. And they've asked you to write these numbers. They gave you the numerals and they want you to write it in words. But what I want us to do is I want us to take a look. I want us to place the commas where they go. And then we can talk about how to write these. When you look at a large number like this, it would be very difficult to read it without placing those commas. Placing those commas let us know where to say millions, where to say thousands. It's just like when you think about when you're reading. And if you were reading and you're enjoying a book and you're reading without the commas to know where to pause, or without the periods to know where the end of the sentence is, it becomes very confusing. It's much more difficult to try and follow along with the story when you're just kind of reading on and on and on without the punctuation to sort of break things down, let you know where the end comes. Well, it's the same thing with large numbers like this. Looking at a whole string of numbers like this, for me, it's very confusing to look at it and to try and read it the way it should be read without having those commas placed in there, because those commas let me know where the millions place is, where the thousands place, so I know how to better read the numbers. So what you need to do when there are no commas, you start, of course, with the ones place, and you go ones, tens, hundreds, comma. Then you're into the thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, comma. It's every 3 places you place that comma. So it's 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. If there were more digits, 1, 2, 3, comma. Right? Ones, tens, hundreds, comma. Thousand, 10,000, hundreds, thousands, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3. Right? Ones, tens, hundreds, comma. Thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, comma. Or 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Right. Now you can go back and read the numbers. If you see you have 2 commas in your number, then you know you're talking about a number in the millions. 2 commas, millions. 1 comma, thousands. So with 2 commas and knowing it's millions, so what comes before that first comma are your millions. So it's 27, and now when you get to that first comma, you're going to say million. 27 million. Then you always read your number as a 3-digit number. That's 196. And these 2 digits, that's 27. That doesn't change. Okay, you're looking at your numbers in between your comma and you're reading it as a 2-digit number or a 3-digit number. 27, but because there are 2 commas, the first comma I know is millions, so 27 million. Then I have this 3-digit number, 196, and this comma tells me to say thousand. So 27,196,384. Okay, look at the number before the comma. First thing I notice, 2 commas, I have a number in the millions. I read this 3-digit number, 176. This comma tells me to say million. 176 million. I read the next 3-digit number, 245. This comma tells me to say thousand. 245,000. And then this 3-digit number, 398. 176,245,398. Okay, don't forget how to read the 3-digit numbers. That's the biggest problem that I find when we work with larger numbers. Suddenly it seems as though students forget how to read these 3-digit numbers. You're still reading the 3-digit number the same way. You just have to remember with 2 commas, at the first one you say millions and the second one is thousand. Okay, so again, 2 commas, we have a number in the millions. Here we just have one number, a 1-digit number. So this is 3 million. Then we read the next 3-digit number, 541, and this comma tells us to say 1,286. 3,541,286. It is that easy. 2 commas tell you have a number in the millions place. First comma is where you say million. The second comma is where you say thousand. So if you were going to be writing these in words, the way you heard me read it with you, that's how you would write it. You would write 27. So you would write 27. Okay. Then you're at the comma, so that's million. Okay, and then we do place a comma though when we write it. That's the only difference. When you're writing, you're going to use the word million, but also place the comma. Then you have 196. This comma says we say thousand. We do place a comma after that when we write it, and then we have 384. Okay, 27,196,384. Okay. Let's go to lesson 140. Lesson 140. In lesson 140, in the practice, we are given the numbers in words, and we need to write them using digits. So, A, 9,263,512. Okay, again, so that was 9 million. 9, that first comma is million. So you should know right away, 9 million, that first comma is million. So what has to come after that first comma? You have to have 3 places followed by another comma and 3 places. Because 9 million, the million tells us we have 2 commas. We know that it's 3 digits and then a comma. So this is the first thing you should do. Okay, 9 million. Here you go. Set it up. Now that you have your places, it'll make it easier for you to go back and fill them in and make sure you're using zeros where zeros are needed. So 9,263,000. 263. I already have my comma for thousand, so there we go. Next three digits are filled in. And then 512. Three digits left. 512. Okay. B, 11 million. Again, 11, comma, because it's 11 million. Since it's going to be million, I know I have to have three places here, followed by my comma for thousand. Whoops. And then three places after that. So 11 million. If the number was just 11 million, it would be 11 and then followed by 6 zeros. So this again sets it up, and it helps me to know my places and where you might need to add in some zeros. So 11,123,000. 123, I already have my comma for 1,000, and then 400. And this is how I write 400. 11,123,400. If you do this when you're first writing the numbers in the millions, you will have a lot fewer mistakes. Okay, by setting it up and using blanks for your digits before you even continue reading the rest of the number. C, 9. Now this one is 987 million. So 987. That's what 987 looks like. That hasn't changed. 987 million just means I need to have a comma, three places, another comma, and three more places because it's a number in the millions. 987 million, 654,000, 654. Already have the comma for 1,000, and then 321. 321. D is 16 million. 16, comma, because that first comma is million. 1, 2, 3 places, comma for thousands. 1, 2, 3. So it's now 16,543,543, and there's the comma for 1,000. And that's it. That's the end of that number. 16,543,000. So because I already had it set up for millions and my number is just 16,543, then what do you know you need to do? You have to fill these in with zeros. There you go, 16,543,000. We have E and F. So E says 93 million. You hear million, 93. It's million. So that first comma is your comma for your millions. Then it's three more places, comma for thousands, and three more places. The whole number, though, for E is 93 million. There we go, 93. What do we have to do? These are all filled in with zeros. 93 million. And F is 753 million. So here we go, 753. That first comma is million. Because it's million, I know I have to have three more places, followed by a comma for thousands, and three more places. So it's 753 million. 753 million. 872,000. 872. There's the comma for 1,000, and then 190. Okay, 753,872,190. You'll find it is easier if you look at the first part of your number, and if you see that you have a number in the millions place, set it up with your blanks and then go in and fill in your digits. and it will help you for those numbers where zeros are needed. Now, they really didn't give many. They actually, the three that they gave here, there were zeros added at the end. But if you had a number, let's say your number here was 9,263,502. You have all of your blanks set up. 9,263,502. Well, hopefully then you would remember that because you have that line here. You would know that you would need to fill in a zero because you can't leave it blank. 9,263,502. Or, let's do this one. 987,654,321. Well, what if this was 987,600,321? And you have your blanks because you heard or you read that it was millions, so you set up with your correct number of blanks 987,600,321. Well, when you have it set up like this, 600,321, you're filling in with zeros. 987,600,000. Here's your comma for thousand, 321. You really need to pay attention to those commas because after you hear millions and then the next is thousand, that's how you're able to know your places or how many digits you need to have. You have your millions followed by three places followed by the comma for thousand. And so when you're reading a number where you hear thousand, that's where that comma is going to go. All right, so again, when you have a number in the millions, it could be up to a 9-digit number, but you're always going to have three places, comma, and then either 1, 2, or 3 digits depending on how large your number is in the millions. All right, so again, I think the easiest thing for you to do when you have to write a number using digits, when they've given it to you in words and you have to write it in digits, you need to know how many blanks you should have and put those blanks first and then fill in that way. Makes it a little bit easier until you get used to writing these very large numbers. All right, so that is lessons, I should say, 137 and 140. So for lesson 137, you'll complete numbers 1 to 15. And then on lesson 140, you'll do numbers 16 to 30. All right, so don't forget, if you need my help, please make sure you reach out to me. Spend a little extra time on Extra Math or IXL. But please, if you need my help with this, make sure you contact me so that I can help you out. And don't forget that it is 137 and 140. Okay? All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.